What's up, traders? So it's Thursday. Markets close tomorrow. Let's just talk about what happened this morning. All the good stuff. Maybe you guys got into something good. MBIO was obviously the big one, but let's talk about it. So there's really not much to talk about besides MBIO this morning. Um, just looking at it, she's really the talk of the town per se. And going back and watching this on my stream or my recording, you know, everybody I knew this morning was actually in this long. Not everybody, obviously. There's a lot of people that were just staying away from this, including myself. But when she made this move, I mean, she was so extended. My instinct when I saw all that selling pressure over 10 was to just hit that button. And, I even lowered it down to 200 shares on my montage, and I thought about it. Just couldn't do it, but is what it is. I wouldn't have been in for this full move. Obviously, I would have been looking probably at this green candle on VWAP, but still, that would have been a pretty huge day for me. But again, it is what it is. We didn't get a hold of it. It's not the lower float. She's actually, I believe, coming up on her float. Yeah, 28 million. She's around 24 million shares traded now. So, I mean, this thing has been getting all the attention. Now, I will say, if we want to draw some lines here real quick on the volume chart, and some people might be like, well, why are you drawing lines on the volume chart? Well, just like on a regular chart, you can pick up, some patterns on a volume chart. So look at how this is trading. She's starting, look at this big move down, and she's starting to base. She found a base here. She's moving up slowly. And what we would be looking for is for this thing to start moving up towards VWAP and also getting the volume to kind of break the trend. So if you start getting more volume than the current trend, just like on the chart, essentially you could draw lines just like this one, pointing down. I guess it wouldn't work. On such a big move like this, it's hard. But some people all day will draw like their strategy. Why is it not going to let me? Well, that's kind of annoying. Their strategy will be to literally just draw trend lines all day. And what I mean by that is, and that was kind of worse, but they'll take these trend lines and they'll see that this thing's moving down. Why are these trend lines not working today? There's a lot of noise outside. What is going on with these trend lines? There we go. And they'll look for these to break, and once they break, they'll get in. And it works the other way too. So if we want to draw one here coming this way, and this is what they'll do all day. So when she breaks this trend line, they'll get in, say short if they can. And then again, I'll draw this trend line. So when she breaks this trend line, they'll get in long. So there's people that, obviously this one's not the best example. You're looking for more of, the waves per se. But when something's basing out like this and a stock that's getting all the attention for the day, and assuming how many people are short in this right now, if this thing starts getting volume and starts heading up towards VWAP, that, definitely watch out. Sumi, stop it. All right, let me close my front door because that's why she's barking. Ow, hit my leg. So, hey, what's up, Brad? Devin? Who's Devin? Devin Davis. I feel like I know that guy. He might be, dangerous. But, Yeah, I mean, it's really that simple. Just to go over two of the other stocks I was kind of looking at today, but they just had no volume. They did kind of give you the overextension move that we look for, but again, I mean, look at this volume. It was just atrocious. What was the other one? The other one was Dava. This one was a little bit better. She actually kind of gives you that triangle. This was actually more of a pennant, I guess, but I mean, again, this volume was just horrible. I mean, all the volume today, last day before a holiday, we're off tomorrow. I mean, pick one stock and it was just all here. I mean, from zoom out, I mean, she had the big move after hours yesterday when the news broke. It ended up being old news. So as you can see, she kind of just died down. But obviously at the bell, I was actually expecting that thing to go down even further, assuming, everybody that was in, you're going to get a lot of selling pressure. And she kind of did, right out the gate. But once all those people got out, it decided to squeeze up. And that was the move we got. And just watching that back right at 10, I'm a little upset with myself. I came over here, lowered this to 200. I was watching it, all the selling pressure coming through on the tape. And I just didn't hit the button. Just didn't do it. I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. I knew all these, it made it up to 15, 12, and they're relatively quick moves. So I didn't want to get caught. That's all there is. Okay, look, we're actually kind of getting that volume touch. Let me see if I can move this line a little. Make it a little bit more correct. There we go. So we'll sit here and watch this one as we're talking. But what did you guys trade anything today? I know Devin actually did get in on this nice long here. Just took smaller share size, and that's what you should do when you think you're getting into a risky trade, but you still want to trade it because you still think it follows your strategy. Then just downsize a little bit on the share size and take advantage of it. And this so happened that he was right, and it paid off. Trying to see if there was anything else, just looking up at the scanners. I'll give you guys a show of these. You had FBIO as well, which was moving because of MBIO. Pretty much the same chart, literally. I mean, you know how a lot of stocks will mirror the spider? Well, this is the exact same thing. I mean, these are, I don't know the exact news. I don't really look into news that much, but I know that these two were incorporated together with whatever deal or whatever was going on. I think they cured bubble boy disease, I think it was. But again, I don't know the ins and outs of that. Yeah, Uxin was another one that was moving. Oh, of course, you can't see my chart, and then I need to make a split screen at some point. I had pulled up FBIO, but it was really nothing to look at. Uxin looks like she's kind of moving now. This was a previous runner. We can scroll out and see she's actually still moving up. From that other day, if we look down here on the daily, she had the big down day, and then now she's recovering. So at first, people might be thinking it's a technical bounce, but if you want to look at it just within, she is holding VWAP here. The volume, is there. It's a lot less, but this is a great example of what I was trying to show you on the MBIO chart. It's hard to use the bell at first, those volume bars, so you kind of want to just go into it and look for the actual trend. And as you can see, look at when she broke this volume, all this volume started coming in, look at what happens. You get the move up. And now, granted, this isn't a huge move like MBIO is, but it gets the point across. It shows you what I was talking about. And, I mean, it even kind of does it again. Again, you can sit here and just draw lines all day if that's what you're into. But, I mean, look, the volume dies off, and then you get a big bar up, and then look what comes. So, and granted, she gets the big dip down, and then she's starting to climb back up. Look for it to happen again. I mean, you can literally draw lines all day. I mean, look at this. There's kind of VWAP. You can use VWAP here. You can even draw a little bit of a support line here, and there's your bull flag pennant, whatever you want to call it, and then boom, she breaks out. So, I used to be in the whole technical analysis part of everything, but now I'm more into keeping it simple. I like to do the old KISS method. Let's see what else we got moving. We got Kron's moving today. This actually has a lot of volume. This was another one. I mean, a nice pop out of the gate, and then right over 17. We don't have shares available on this one, and I just don't like Kron. Kron, in my early days of trading, was not my friend. Back when the weed hype like literally just started, Kron, IGC, Tilray, all those were going nuts, and no matter how I traded it, it just bit me and just kept biting me over and over again. I couldn't trade it right. I couldn't understand. See, just checking right off the scanner, guys. AMRS. So we got no shares available. Volume's a little light. Looking at the daily, you do have a lot of resistance and the 200 MA coming up right here around 550. So if we could short this, we would be looking for volume to pick up and give us a quick spike over 5, just to give you insight to kind of what I'm looking at when I scroll through these on the scanner. Roku has a nice little spike here on some decent volume. Looking left, she's just got a buttload of resistance no matter where you look. Looking at previous resistance from yesterday, she got all the way up here to 57.30. She is high of day right now. Can't hurt to entertain this. We'll just keep an eye on it for a sec, see what she does. We would really like this. If we were going to trade this, we would love this to go up to 57, like on this candle. Let me make sure she's not restricted. She is not. Now this is just a rough draft too, guys, but I did make a little bit of a sticky note for myself. It's kind of just a guideline for my current, why is this not focusing? For my current risk off and share size when I'm playing these. I do not know why this isn't focusing. Let me try to get a little closer. Nope. Oh, you get the idea. So it's just like that was one of my major problems is I'd pull up a stock and I'd be so worried, okay, how many shares should I take? And I would never risk off, the right, the right amount in my head. So again, that's a guideline because every stock is going to move different. Every stock has a different float. The range is different, all that good stuff. So yes, very much so. You're very true there, Zealous. Yeah, the range has a huge thing because look at Roku right here. I mean, she's a big move for her right now is a point where if you want to pull up MBIO real quick, I mean, look at this. She went from 10 and now she's all the way down to 6. But the price, that's what I always tell everyone. The price versus the actual range can always be much different because there's some $20-$30 stocks that are only moving 20-30 cents, whereas you can have something like MBIO where it just moved 4 points. So if we can actually get some volume in here and this were to shoot up over 57, we would actually be looking at this to trade. Oh, I'm an idiot. We can't even short it. Never mind. When I see these higher price stocks, I always just assume. I don't even look if we can short it. It's 113 million float too, just out of curiosity. But well, this is kind of frustrating now because we'll move on because that's the whole point. I used to have a problem with that too. Is I would sit here and look at stocks that I can't trade. PAG's on SSR. As you can see on the scanner, she was a little bit red anyway, or in the red. So we probably shouldn't even have pulled that up. Just not part of my strategy. IGC, I know we can't short. Just curious what she's doing. And I mean, this is what you'll see me do in the morning if I was just running the live feed. I'm sitting here, I'm just watching that scanner, and I'm just pulling up as they come up. And the only thing that really came up today was MBIO. Oh, let me correct myself. ADTN did come up when she made this move here, and I had it up, and I actually watched just there was a little bit of volume. I was like, okay, if she pops back up near 16, I'll be looking for the 16 pop. I'll get in. But just as I was waiting for that, it was just so slow, so I just didn't even bother. Let me see. Another one was ASNA. Yeah, I remember pulling that up. It was junk. What was the one other one? Dava. I think I'd mentioned that earlier. I mean, when they're just chopped like this as they're moving up, I tend to steer clear, especially, I mean, the volume, just horrible. Just real quick, just want to see what she's doing. Okay, yeah, she looks like she's failing anyway. So if we were in this, I mean, look how extended she is from VWAP. We got the trade line here. So if we were to get in here because we felt the top, we'd be looking for at least like this 56.30 area, or at least in the 30s. So, and her spread's actually not that bad, and her float's not that huge. So we would definitely be looking for the 50 break at least. And then if you get the 50 break, which, okay, look at the tape. Lots of red here, which is good. We would look for this 50 to break, which she did there, and we would be looking for 50 to hold, which she is not. She's trying. Okay, the bid's still there. All right, she looks. Yep, okay, she's going to go down. So we would be looking for this at least in the 30s. Whoa, look at that jump. That's not what you want to see. We'd probably still be holding this, assuming we were in, in the high 60s somewhere, whether we got it on this up move or on the, as she was coming back down, we saw this nice little topping tail. Yeah, she's going to go back under. Sometimes that's just a big order covering. Maybe, someone got in big up here, was one of the big influences on why she decided to stop there, and that was just them covering their position. But she does look a little bit weak here. Again, just to show you what I'm looking at, I used to never do this in the past, and it would always just get me out of trades too early. But this is the first thing I look at. When you make a break through a high like it had here, I'm looking for that as it to come down to this and bounce. If it's going to continue, it's going to bounce. So in the future, when I can take a lot more share size, I'm going to be looking to get in my position up here. I'm going to be looking for this position. I'm probably going to take like 75% of my position here and look for the rest, the last 25% to hopefully continue down. You're always most likely going to get a little bit of a bounce here. Just not letting it take you out is the key, and you just put a nice little stop in there for your shares just in case. But this is obviously going to be a key support area, so and that's why I was saying the 30s, but you also got the trade line coming up. So that's why I said at least to get into the 30s and look to see what it does there. But when you get extended like this, the odds are of it continuing before coming down and retesting, a previous resistance as support is not likely. Do your due diligence and you'll find that out pretty quickly. It's, and it's actually, in my research, it's pretty rare. I mean, a lot of long bias traders, they will look for this to hold. And a lot of times it doesn't. They're looking for this to hold and it'll just fall through. Come back down to VWAP and it kind of keeps them out of a trade. But if the stock is really strong that day, the odds are when she does pop through and comes back down to test this area, she's going to get ahead and continue. So let's see what she does here at this trade line. On the 2 minute, if you can see it up here, it's the 11, but what I'm trying to mock there is the 20 EMA on a 1 minute, because that's what most people look at. So I just put that on there as a visual reference at what a lot of people might be looking at for the trade line, because I know that a lot of people use that and VWAP are the two major ones. I actually use VWAP for my strategy, just looking for that overextension from VWAP, but the trade line I don't use personally. She's fighting. She's trying to get up over 50 again. I would most likely, she's kind of fighting back and forth, this large red line going across here, that's where she closed yesterday. So that's where her red to green move was. So that's kind of what happened here is she got a nice little pop, went green, and now she's coming back under. But this is one where you just got to be patient. Again, the volume's not completely there. And again, assuming we're in up here, on a move like this, at this point, you might be looking to take like half your position, because then, if she does pop back up and you still feel comfortable, you could add that half back, because now at this point, it does look like she's not going to continue down. You got two nice little bottoming tails here. And of course, here she goes. Again, though, you still can't be afraid of this, because this is almost kind of going into what I've been calling the sloppy seconds, where, you get that move down, you get that bounce up, and if you really want to look at it, this isn't really big pullback, because all this was just a little mini pullback. So, before she can really, especially on this kind of volume, before she can really move up again, it feels like she would need that proper pullback, probably down to the support area, to really gain the buyer's interest, the bull's interest again. Yeah, GDT, I'm right there with you. I was actually ready to look to trade Roku here, but I don't have any shorts available. I, for some reason, just assumed I would have. Okay, here we go. We're back down in the 30s. This is exactly what we would be looking for. So even if we were at half position now, still green is green. We took some up there just in case she did decide to pop on us again, so we could add it back. But this is where we would be looking for the support area to be touched. And at this point, if we did take half there, we'd be looking to get out the rest. Oh, you wanted it over 80? Oh, well, at least you have shares. I was saying I would have taken this, on these two candles right here. If it would have popped up to 57, I would have been in personally. But now we're just kind of going over, if you did get in here, what we would be looking for as far as keeping our patience and coming down to this line here. That's a lie. I don't think I've traded a stock under $10 in the last week and a half. There hasn't been any. Could have had MBIO this morning, but frustrating. So again, right here, this is just a pop, people kind of covering a little bit early, front runners, knowing that people are looking for this test. I'd probably be sitting here trying to hold through this. I would have a feeling this isn't going to get back over 50 before she tests down here. But again, I said we were looking for the mid 30s. So, and this could be the trend line trying to hold it up as well. So if you're looking for mid 30s, you could have been out there, nice 30-cent move. But I really do feel like we're going to come down and test this line. Yeah, that, I got it up. As you can see, she's only hitting 8. I haven't seen anything like over 15, I think, since I started the stream. I actually have it set to 32, but since I'm not watching anything else, and this carbonation is killing me. Either that or the pork tenderloin. A glorious sound at this point would be nice. And what he's talking about, guys, is the scanner giving us that sound. My sound would be this. So anytime it goes over 30, it'll alert me that something's going nuts. And we're just following this because I just want to show you guys what yeah. Well, I used to have the whole screaming thing, but it was just too much. I used to do that, but then you got 1, 2, 3, sometimes 3 stocks just going nuts. It's hearing that over and over again. I felt like I was in like a mental asylum or something. And then you got the old classic. Yeah, it was this one. This is the original one. Yeah. Well, I wanted something because that's the chat beep. So I wanted something that was different, and so I would know that that's what it was. I don't even have sound on the other scanner now, the ones that are dipping low, because I just don't long. Yeah, I actually turned the chat sound off in the morning myself. Definitely, that's so true. Oh, so true. And she actually hasn't given us our sloppy seconds yet, but she might try to give it to us here. She's trying to base here. I'm sticking true. I'm sticking true to my little bit of a hypo trade here, just for just to prove a point. I mean, you could always move this up to the top of that candle, but I think this is 25 was a little bit more of the true number. Let's go. Let's just see what MBIO is doing, just out of curiosity. She's probably going to just do this the rest of the day. Again, look, she's still following that pattern here. Now, everyone's going to say, this eventually will hit 0, and that's true. So, I mean, if she just starts to kind of go sideways, I mean, that's really no different. You would really, at that point, just draw like a resistance line and just look for it to break that if you really want to continue to watch this thing. But not for me. I see AMRS is doing something. Another one we can't short. You got shorts on this, GDT? There you go. You can pop over 5. Would be pretty nice. Got volume, came in. Yeah. I haven't. I think we used to have shorts on this, but that was probably a month ago. I haven't had them for a while. This is definitely another one. Yeah, that's the chat beep that you're hearing. Let me actually turn that off. Yeah, this one with a quick pop over 5. Let's see if we can read the tape here, just out of curiosity. She didn't even get over 5. We would want this over 5. Here we go. Coming in. Come on. We would be looking for at least like 505 at this point, just looking at the range. I mean, she really slowed down trying to get through 5. There we go. Nice little pop. Just watching. All right there, 504. We'll say we took 300 shares there, 504, just like a little bit of a hypo trade. So we'd be looking for in over 5, out under 5 at this point. Clearly way down here. I mean, look at this. VWAP's all the way down here. Obviously, we can't use this. Obviously, we would be looking to add to this. Actually, we might be doing it right here. It was either 03 or 04, I think we said. Right? I think. I'm not sure. We probably wouldn't have added here. We could have smashed it there at 510, but the odds are she's going to at least test 5 here, especially on the big move there. It would have been nice to smash 510 there, though. Coming back down. 200, 550. Oh, yeah, the 200 at 550 on the daily, yeah. And all that extra resistance. It's so funny. I'm accustomed to looking at that right away that I didn't even mention it because I just looked at it and saw it. But yeah, down here you have big resistance here at 550 on the daily, and then you got all this resistance here at $6, 586, like that area. So we'd be looking for that to be a possibility. Always keep that in mind, you know. These obviously can go against you. But this thing's pretty extended. Not only would we be looking for under 5, that 510 smash really would have been nice because we could have just got out of those shares. It would have made our average better with our original share size. But we were looking for a little bit more if she was going to push against us, at least like over 515. But again, maybe here at 475, just looking at the lines, I mean, you got one that was here, and that was kind of when she really decided to start moving. I mean, you have another one down here, but this one isn't really what we would be looking for. So she's trying to break down. You saw that red come through. It looks like she might try to continue here. And when they're stair-stepping like this, it's not necessarily a good trade. So like right now, we would actually be thinking, okay, we're not in a good trade, especially when you see all this red and she actually decides to stop and continue up. So at this point, we would be looking for another quick move, hopefully smash the top of that, get our average up to, like, say if we got in 515 again, that would bring our average up to like 508, 509. We would look to hopefully get that retest to 5 and then get out. That would be our trade. We then wouldn't be looking for, you know, the big move, or, you know, you could take half your shares down there if it came to that, and then look for the rest of the move. But right now she's just kind of, again, it's funny though, because, you know, there was a lot of volume, but it's like you're just getting those big pops and then she's just dropping. And as, again, here we go with trying to come back down. This time she might actually fail. We got a new IPO that opened Pinterest. I was actually just interested in this. Yeah, look at the volume. This thing's this is probably all of the investors just dumping their shares. I always say most IPOs that are like private companies that come public after being private for so long, it's usually pressure from the investors saying, hey, you need to go public so that we can get out of this, because no one wants to buy our stuff privately. We are going to go back to AMRS real quick. She's actually testing 5. We'll come back to this. I just want to stick to what we were going over. So we're getting that 5 test. I was just checking the scanners. I saw that this was at 5. So right now we're just kind of hovering around our entry. We're not really too worried about this. She is still pretty extended. We're just talking pennies at this point. We obviously wanted that quick flush under 5. On the quick extended move, we wanted that over 515. We didn't quite get it. So at this point, we'd be looking for the flush under 5, and then we'd look for it to hold. It does seem like it could be inevitable. However, look at what she's been doing, on this whole move up. She comes up and she kind of consolidates sideways, up, consolidates sideways, up, and then now is she going to consolidate sideways, or is she too far extended? That's the question. And that's where these can get tricky when you get in before like a big mental, half dollar, whole dollar break, because, what if you would have got in here? She gives you that little bit of a flush, but are you looking for more there? And then she runs against you. Okay, there's the big flush under 5. Somebody realizing we weren't going anywhere. At this point, just the way that she is moving and we're kind of in this trade, just looking at it, we're probably at least taking half our position there, or maybe even more than that, just to guarantee a nice little lock, because we are right at the trade line as well. Probably take like 75% there just to lock it in, make sure that even if she does decide to go against us again, we're going to look to, it'll be a matter of how, not if it's a green trade, but just how big of a green trade. And the remainder, we'd be looking for this obviously to hold under 5. We'd probably just put it at break even at our entry point, maybe even just 501, because if she breaks 5 again, the odds are she's going to continue up. And if not, you get stopped out, you look for maybe a double top and you could get back in. So, I mean, there's lots of variables, when, playing these types of moves. Here, I can't, let me pull pins up. And just real quick, as you can see, again, we'd be looking for down here close to me, I'm looking for 474 for those remaining shares. I definitely would have taken shares out there. We're just the way this thing was trading, I didn't like it. So to get out with profit is nice. So, and we'd be looking for that remainder to get down here towards 474. So we'll check back on that in a little bit. Okay, look, there's a big break, and bam, just like that. That's how you do it. Boom. Unfortunately, we don't have any shares. It's something I definitely would have traded, but as you can see, nobody has shares. So, all right, over to pins. Whoa, look at her go. That's the one bad thing I hate about DOS is you can't do anything about this. You're stuck looking at the charts like this when a new IPO comes out. If you guys have any questions, shoot them at me. I have no problem, answering them. Maybe going over something I said, something maybe you didn't understand, you want to know more about. Look at this volume. This is nuts. I knew they were going to get some volume, but I didn't think it'd be this much. I mean, look, MBIO on the day has 26,000 or 26 million. SPY has 26 million, and this thing's going to pass it in 10 minutes. That's nuts. I remember I traded, I forget the IPO. Devin actually might remember it. It was when IPOs were like the hot thing. I mean, they're kind of the hot thing right now too. But I want to say it was like, was it VKTX? No, not VKTX. NIO. I traded that thing, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. Yeah, that was it, NIO. I want to watch this thing out of the gate, and it did exactly this. And I remember earlier in the week, there was like 2 other IPOs that just went like this, and they skyrocketed. And NIO did the same thing, and I FOMO'd the hell out of that thing, and I got in, and it halted at like up. I was up like, I think I was in 500 shares, because I was back when I didn't have any clue what I was doing. And she gets halted up. Well, it was at like $9 or $10, something like that. And as it was halted, the ask and the bid both dropped down to $1. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, I was confused. I was like, this got halted for volatility, right? Like, I was like, my inside just came out of me. And as Pinterest trying to come up here. I mean, and that's the other thing with it. You can't really technically trade this thing at this point. This is, to me, this is literally the lottery. But Anyways, I was so scared that when she finally unhalted 5 minutes later, she actually gapped up, and I hit the button so quick. But as I hit the button, I was hitting the market button because I was like, I need to get out of this. So I marketed out, and I mean that thing just flushed right when it opened, and I lost. I want to say it was like close to a point, but I was up like 2 points. So it was, and then after she dipped that point from everyone, I guess, selling out of the halt, she skyrocketed like another 4 points or something. It was crazy. And I still made a good amount of money, luckily, but I won't ever play these when they first open. I mean, this is just gambling, but it's fun to watch. Let me see where AMRS is actually climbing back up. So right there, we got our bounce that we were looking for, right? Was it AMRS that we were just the big flush down through 5. Yep, and she came right down, bounce right where we were looking. Just to show you guys, it's pretty inevitable. And a lot of times you'll see in my trades, I front run this a little bit. I'll look like 478, 480. Just to make sure, this bounce doesn't happen too quick and I don't get out manually. Because especially in lower volume stocks, that will happen. She'll come down here, but then she'll bounce right back up over 480, and it was too quick that you can't even get out of it. And look, she's climbing. Now, to me, this looks like a nice little bit of a U. I'm probably, if I'm in a gambling mood, I'd be looking along here, looking for this thing to come up, break 24, and just go. Yeah, here she goes. If we can get up to 24 and get through, I mean, she's going to probably come, I wouldn't say right to 24.78. This thing, what's the float on this thing anyway? I didn't even check. Obviously, it doesn't have it up here, but I know it opened with a ton of shares. I guess I could check real quick. Might not even have it on here yet. 328 million, give or take. So that's big, but it's not as big as I might have thought. I was thinking it might have been, up at over 500. I would love to see this test 24. I mean, when it comes to reading the tape, when you have this much volume coming through, I mean, you're talking, look, this is insane. I mean, you had in the first 2 minutes it was 12.8 million. So, I mean, that's just insane. It's so, you can't really read the tape on something like this. I mean, you can, like, watch when we get this 24 test here. I mean, you're going to see a boatload of just green and red coming through. I can only imagine the liquidity here at 24. Look at this thing. Look at all that green to get through. I can only imagine how many shares are sitting at 24 from people that bought down here. Yeah, it must be a lot because it looks like she's failing. When you see a whole dollar like that just get tested over and over again and then she doesn't get there, the odds are you can always scalp that real quick. Yep, just like that. You can always probably get in there as close as you can to 24 if you see it failing, and then just look for that quick scalp down and then take it. And then usually what that will actually create the retest, because you get a bunch of people that are now covering into this, and then it'll come back up over 90, and then the bulls say, we want to go over 24 this time, and then usually when you get that second touch is when you get it. But you also do get a lot of people that were trying to get through 24 and they're buying those shares. So when you get that like 92, 93 cents again, they actually sell out for a quick loss. They'll take the 7-cent loss. And then usually when you saw that second big drop, that's usually what that is. And okay, she looks like she's not ready. I do think this will test 24. I mean, we got there the first time. I mean, she clearly said, I want to go up. Again, if I had balls, we would definitely, well, we said we were 23.70 when we said that. Hook, that was another IPO, right? Yeah. Woo. Again, though, the range on this isn't that great, but yeah, she just plateaued. Look at there's like next to no volume too. But yeah, she got smashed. That's the thing too, is like, look at this and then look at pins, like the volume. Obviously Pinterest is a pretty wide known name, so this was obviously we got the break of 24. Of course, we missed it. Thanks, Devin. Just kidding. But as you can see, when we got through 24, look how quick she's moving up. And honestly, this is not an overextension to me. This is not something I would be looking to short. So to me, and I would think a lot of other people that aren't stupid wouldn't be shorting here. This is probably just people selling. But I do think we're going to get a pullback probably to 24, and it'll hold, and we're probably going to climb here. If I just live stream all day, I can just tell you what stocks are going to do. I just can't trade them. I'm just scared. See that? We had the retest of 24 there, and here we go. I can call it out all day. I just don't have the balls to trade them. Devin will tell you. It's the truth. It's like MBIO. I had my finger on the button. I had it. 200 shares sitting right there at 10. That was so frustrating. Look at her go. What was that? 70 cents from 70. That's the beauty of getting it down in here when you see this move happening. Now we got the trade line VWAP cross coming. Some people might be looking at that. You never know. Again, I don't think you can really use technical indicators this early into an opening. But you never know what people are looking at. If we do come down to 24 again here, this probably is going to be a pullback. Yeah, I agree with you, Devin. Like I said, that one time I played NIO, that was back when I had zero clue. And this is definitely very bullish right now. And this thing is trucking. 50, I really, I always emphasize the $half, whole dollar. And as you can see, look at all the prints at 50 coming through. I mean, you need to treat those as those mental stops or mental resistances. And look right there. You saw it failing. Oh, she's going to go through. It's so simple, right? I can sit here and just say this all day. I could have been up pretty well at this point. Almost the whole point. High day would have been a point. And she's headed there. Now, usually, it's only the $half, whole dollars I look at. But obviously, when you get a high a day, you got to look at it. And we're coming up to that now. I mean, if she just blasts through this, we're going right to $25. And this thing might just climb. And the other thing, too, is, no one can really short this. There are obviously people that can, but the people that can short it are usually not affecting the market. Anyway, like directly. You got your, like, trade nets and all them guys trading I keep on calling them CFDs. I'm having a brain fart on what those are called. Yep, there we go. High day. She might fake out here. I got a feeling this might be a little bit of a fake out and then go. Yeah, look at the 75, 72. Look at it printing red. Yep. We're going to come down and then we're going to probably go. And she might actually not. This might be a big pullback here because we are pretty extended here now. It's so true. That's why paper trading is so easy. Because you can literally hit the button and you don't care. Yep, here's the pullback. See if 50 can hold. Nope. Now those you can't really call per se. I mean, that's where retail trading is. That's why retail trading is retail trading. When you get to a key, support resistance area, it's really up to what the retail traders do at that point. Are they going to hit the button or are they going to hold? And at that point, when we were down at 50, you saw they hit the button. They were like, I'm getting out of here, and they're still doing it. So if we're going to look for any kind of a key point, it would be right where VWAP and the trade line are right now. You want to just try to find, those key points. You got a nice little topping tail here. It almost came up to here. You got the body of the candle there. kind of the, I mean, again, it's so hard when you don't have that much, data to go off of. But if I had to pick an area for if it was going to have like a real pullback, it would be right around here. So you probably get, what you would probably get is a big pullback to the whole dollar of 24, and you'd probably get that bust through to, do what they always do. You get that bust through 24. That's where all the liquidity is. You got people with stop losses right there under 24. That's where all the big dogs get their shares in and out. But it doesn't look like we're done. If this goes high day again, we're going to 25, and we might go right to 25, which would be cool to see. Looks like we lost all the viewers. Maybe it's only you, Devin. There's really nothing else to look at, though. That's the problem. It's such a slow market. Looks like we're going to get that 50 break, though. Appreciate that. Yeah, I might not be able to hear your voice right now, but at least you get to hear mine. How's it feel? Looking straight into your eyes. Yeah, it's true. You do get to see my face. I get to see yours on Facebook every once in a while. Oh, there we go. Right to 25. Off we go. This thing's powerful, man. 2370 would have been pretty sweet, huh? Yeah. I didn't see this coming either, but I mean, she was giving us that evidence. She found her base and started Uing up. She looked strong as she was doing it. Yeah, we're going right to 25. I hate that my chart looks like this, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's going to start getting smaller, but we'll just have this one big old candle down here on the daily. Look at this volume, man. This is nuts. I think this is the first IPO. I'm assuming Uber will be even worse. What do you know the price point for Uber? I don't remember what Uber was supposed to open up at. For some reason, my IPO data isn't working right now. That's because you are sending too many messages. You're like the only person talking. Who else just joined me? Chime in. See who you are. Let me know how you're doing today as we're sitting here watching Pinterest. Let's see how MBIO is doing real quick. 6. Yeah, see, she's doing what I thought. Our trend line finally hit 0, and now she's just kind of consolidating. So that's where you would have to pick, like, maybe this line at 172.9. And, if she gets over that, that could be your break. But I think she's kind of chill. See where AMRS ended up. She's going back up. That perfect. Came down, tested it, and boom. What was the other one that we had? Was it Uxin? No, Uxin was just weird with the example. No, it definitely wasn't that. Maybe it was AMRS, but I thought AMRS had 2 resistance lines, but guess not. Yeah, we called those out nice. That would have been a nice trade. We didn't have any shares. Let's check out pins. Kips. It's definitely. Oh, big pullback. She did get the 25 test, 24.99. I mean, we obviously knew that was going to be a big one. There's just so many shares in this. It's crazy. Yep. Here we go. We're going to come get our official pullback right to this 24 area. Well, yeah, it was AMRS, wasn't it? I thought so. I just didn't know. Yep, here we go. Look at this big pullback. It might actually be somewhere in here because you can see she had a little topping tail. She came down here and then she was a nice engulfing candle. So it might only be to about like right in this area. So 24.20. And this would be the buy right here. This would be right off the scanner if it wasn't a new IPO. Look at this big move down. Looking to scoop this up. Even, I mean, worst case scenario, you're risking off this 24 area. This is basically testing my strat in reverse. So 24, say when we got that first entry at 24.20, right there, and we're getting bought back up. This is obviously one that we'd probably just be looking for a quick scalp. I mean, pretty much right there at that line. Had a feeling it'd be right in between there and the actual support that we had driven or drawn down here. But when you get a big move like this, and it's hard to, it's hard to say people are covering, and that's what would cause this. So in reality, since it is a new IPO, you might have to look at this a little different because the odds are this is just people selling. But you still see this big spike down and the big panic. And when you get this big panic, that's usually when you want to be buying because everyone's panicking getting out. So if there's no one else to sell at this point, what's she going to do? She's going to climb back up, which is what she's trying to do. I'm going to put you in timeout. I feel like we'd be a little weary here if we were in it like 24.20. She's kind of just hovering around here. But I still wouldn't be too worried. I do think you're going to at least get the 24.50 bounce. I mean, a big move like this, it's pretty rare that you don't get a bounce the other way unless you're MBIO. Oh, okay, so we're failing. We'd probably look to add right here around this area. We'd look for the 24 break, and we'd probably look to add under 24. And then when she pops back up using VWAP again, we would be looking, if she fails that after that, that would be our exit. So right here, we'd be looking for this to break. If she doesn't break, that's beautiful, as she didn't. I mean, this is going to be a huge support here. You got VWAP, you got the previous kind of support. So we'd still just be holding our original shares. We really would have wanted the dip under 24 for the add. Okay, now we're back up over 20. She's really struggling here. This is one that you would just have to be patient with because I definitely think we're going to get a nice quick pop up to 50. Like here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. Just watching the tape. If you're a scared little person like me, you probably took your position there for 8-9 cents, and then she'll go to 50. It was close. She probably still... No, I mean, I don't know. This could just be a bounce, and then she might actually continue down. So this might be where she levels out for the rest of the day, just somewhere around $24. In between 24 and 24.50 would be my guess. Yeah, I see that. There's really nothing interesting to talk about. That's why you need a bunch of people in here so they can bring stuff up, and you can just kind of go over it. I actually, I thought I was doing pretty good with, I was pulling stuff off the scanner, even on this slow day, and we were making some plays off of it. We just didn't have. I would have played this if I had shares. We caught it perfectly. The pop over 5. We got the big flush down. Yeah, is she under 6? No. Yeah, she's just gonna sit here probably. She might have like an end of day quick pop 650, maybe even 7, and then she'll probably just like really die would be my guess. But yeah, she's just sideways. Or yeah, she could just go sideways. Yeah, I'm most likely not going to be here myself. Man, this carbonation is killing me. I had to have my Coke Zero though. Had it a little late this morning. Kids were driving me nuts. I finally feel like the melatonin I took last night is finally wearing off. God, I've been having problems sleeping. I think I took too much. It tells you to take. I got those little gummies. It tells you to take 2 of them, but I took them at 8:30 last night. I woke up at 7. Well, it was like 6:30 this morning, and until about 10:30, I mean, I was just still out of it. Thankfully, my dad was like, "Hey, can I come grab Braden?" I was like, "Yeah, please." And the youngest, he was being fussy this morning. One of his molars are coming in, so laid him down early for his nap. And that's why we're getting a live stream. Oxen going higher? Yeah, stair stepper though. That's something I can't touch. She's actually got a higher float, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 306 million. A lot of times you can just tell the float on some of these. Like you see all this volume, but not a lot of, the range isn't that high. So you can kind of tell the float without even looking at it. And that's something you kind of develop over time. It actually took me a long time. And something like MBIO, when you pull it up, you would almost assume this is, not a micro float, but just a real low float. But, some people would consider it a low float. But it's 28 million, which to me is kind of in my wheelhouse. But I don't know, just the way this thing was moving this morning, and I don't ever let people influence you from the outside, but I was, and it just wasn't a good thing today because I would have been my move today. Probably wouldn't be doing this live stream. I probably would have been making my video on MBIO, and that would have been nice, but I didn't. So here we are. You looking at anything, Devin, actually play, or are you just kind of chilling like I am? The only way you can really get interested in something like this, and it's so hard for it to do, is like if it made a nice quick move from here, like up over 350 to, at least 355, and then you'd be looking, for maybe like a 15-cent move down to 340 again. So it's real hard to play something like this, with my strategy. You're better off, maybe trying to get in long here and then using this 340 as a risk off. That would be a better option on a stock like this. Yeah, I think definitely done trading for the day unless my scanner decides to go nuts, but I don't think it's going to. I think everybody is gone for the 3-day weekend. Just YOLO, let's do 5,000 shares, and we'll just go ahead and buy on the ask. Use that 340 as a risk off. We're already down. What was that? That would be $50, right? 1 cent. Just buy 9,000 shares like other people. But all right, well, I guess since no one else is coming in here, we got a third viewer. Who is it? Chime in. Let me know what you're doing. Tell me to do something, except within reason and legal. I think I need to shave. It's getting a little long down there. For anyone that is watching this, this is going to take place of what is usually the Friday night stock talk. Although we'll see. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Maybe I'll still throw it in there. I have to come up with a subject if I do. But I think I'm just going to call it there. Maybe go try to lay down myself since I actually have the opportunity. So, like and subscribe. Like it. Hit that like button. There's only one. I got a feeling I know who it is. It's not you, Devin. You disliker. But market isn't that great today, guys. You had MBIO. Let's take one last look at Pinterest. Yeah, I really do think she's just going to hover here for the rest of the day. I mean, she might, come in and out, but I mean, this one can probably go. This one might hold true. I mean, she's starting to hold true over here as well. She kind of used a topping tail here, kind of in the body here, but now she's giving you your bottom tails here. So this will probably be like right where VWAP kind of starts to form itself, right around 24. It'll probably hover around there for the rest of the day. But unless you guys have anything else, I'm going to get out of here. Yep, barbecue. I had some pork tenderloin for breakfast. Well, what is it, brunch? Yeah, it was good. It was actually from Sunday, but I made 2 of them, so it lasted pretty much all week. But, all right, man. I will catch you guys later.